Welcome to MedTech Decoded. I'm Sarah Jane Walls, and in this show, we cut through the noise and get into what's actually working in AI, automation, and the business of health and wellness. Today's guest is someone who decided to run the day, and then she built the systems to make sure it stayed that way. Jo is a Glasgow-based salon owner, founder of She Is Beauty in Giffnock, and the woman behind the Glasgow Witchy Bazaar, a thriving community events business she built from scratch because she couldn't find what she was looking for. So she just created it herself. In this episode, we go into the full journey from paper diaries, a landline phone, to go high level, AI voice bots, business WhatsApp, and an automated client journey that works while Jo is fully in the room with her clients. We talk about what made her finally make the switch, how she built an AI agent called Bella to answer her phone and capture leads, why she thinks AI will never replace human touch in the treatment room, but will absolutely change everything about it, and what she wishes someone had told her before she had started. As Michael Jordan put it, some people want it to happen. Some people wish it would happen. Others make it happen. Jo makes it happen. Let's get into it.
Welcome. So my guest this week is Jo. So we're joined by Jo today, and Jo is a fellow Glaswegian. All the best people are Glaswegians. And Jo has she's got a few different businesses, and one of them is her salon. It's a beauty salon in Glasgow. Jo also runs events for and rents out spaces. I'll let Jo fill you in better than I do as well. But why we've got Jo on today is that Jo embraces tech like totally out of the ordinary of her peers and the people in her industry. She's a way ahead of the curve and the things that she's doing. So her tech stack we're going to talk about today. We're going to go through how she's using it, the good, the bad, the ugly of AI in real life business. So before we go on into the technical side, Jo, tell us about your salon, what you do, who do you serve, and how long you have been running it.
So my salon is called She Is Beauty. It's in Giffnock, in the south side of Glasgow. I have had it for just short of 9 years, been 9 years on the 1st of May, which is terrifying. We focus mainly on wellness. That's like my priority is giving women in particular, we do serve men as well, but giving women in particular time to just to relax, like have a bit of chill time, because I think women have a tendency to spend so much time looking after other people that sometimes they need looked after. But our main clients tend to be actually women who work in healthcare, so like doctors, pharmacists, nurses, and I think especially they're listening to people's problems all day. Do you know what I mean? They need someone to be like,
we're burnt out and burst.
Like they've got a lot of emotional drainage. So they'll come here and get a wee massage, facial, feel much better, and then be able to treat their clients better.
Now, let's kind of look back at your business over the 9 years and thinking specifically maybe about the systems and the tech that you used way back. So I suppose briefly describe what you used to do in comparison to what today looks like.
Now we're talking. Back in the start, it was paper diaries. It was phone call, paper diaries. If we were shut, you couldn't get an appointment. Yeah, terrified. Not great for bookkeeping either, by the way. Having to go back through a paper diary and be like, how much did you make that month? Yeah,
so horrendous. And when did you realise that you had to change? Because there's still some salons that are on paper systems.
Do you know,
which baffles me.
I won't lie, I was actually quite not against getting an online diary, but quite like, I don't know, I kind of stopped myself for quite a bit. It was actually one of my friends, and she was like, you need to get an online diary, and I was like, I don't know, but no, eventually I did. I actually think it wasn't long before COVID before I swapped over, so that had been a few years of paper diaries. Once I swapped, I was like, what the hell have I been doing?
They still live amongst us, these people. And I get it, because it does seem like quite a daunting task. So you used to be on the paper diary. You used to be on a landline phone, I would imagine. Is that what you used to have? So a landline phone. So people would phone up, make an appointment. You would answer the phone, or it would go to a voicemail.
Yeah.
It would go to a voicemail. You would have to listen to that voicemail, phone that person back, probably play play phone tag with them,
Yeah.
try to get them, leaving a voicemail on their phone. You would then eventually get them, if you got them, get them booked in, probably not take a deposit or anything over the phone or anything.
No.
Right, okay, didn't do any of that sort of stuff. And then maybe they would come in for the appointment, but if they didn't come in for the appointment, you'd lost that appointment slot and you've got no money for it. Sounding a bit familiar, probably for a lot of people maybe listening to this that are in a service-based business. You eventually got an online booking system, which isn't that unusual these days now to have an online booking system. So you've got your online booking system, and how do clients generally book with you today? What normally happens?
Normally it's online. Normally it's they'll look us up. They know what they're looking for. Everything's on there. The price, the time, like it's all there. They can choose who they want to come in with. They'll book online. We do still get phone calls from people, maybe new clients who don't know we take online bookings, but that's now been solved with some more tech. But most of it's online.
So when your phone rings, so Joe's tech stack currently, what is the name of the system you use for your salon or your online? What's that called? Over2. And do a lot of beauty salons use that?
Yeah, it does seem to be quite popular.
Right, okay. And why did you choose that one?
Actually, it's not the first one I used. The first one I used, because it was all very new to me, and at that point in business, we're making ends meet. That was pretty much it. So the first one I used was actually a free system that was all right. It did the job, but it wasn't great. The reports weren't great. And then when I realised actually this is working, I think my worry actually was I'm a bit of a control freak. Giving clients the power to
dare they be able to book in my diary?
Is when suited them more, which obviously is the priority. So once I realised actually this works really well and it's much better for clients, much better for us. So yeah. I was like, right, let's invest a wee bit in this. And I did a wee bit of digging, and Over2 at that point seemed to be the most invested in, I suppose. Like they had most invested in, but also reasonably costs. There's some that are wild, and that was too much a jump for me at that point.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Cost is a big factor that will come in, and especially when you're a solo practitioner, your own, just you, or maybe you're just renting space. It's money out your pocket that you're thinking that you don't always sometimes see the value of. You don't think, well, actually that's, I don't know, £30, £100, £200 a month, whatever it is. And then in some of these places, there might be transaction fees as well for on top of that. And then when you take into account your online fees, like your Stripe fees and things coming off, and your credit card fees coming off as well, before you know it, a £50 service is more like a £42 service because you're factoring in all these other costs. So yeah, it's not easy.
Back then, I was cash as well. Didn't even have cash.
You do now.
Definitely. People are like, okay. Do you not prefer cash? And I was like, no, because I need to go to the bank. Like,
it can sometimes be quite inconvenient, can't it? Cash, you're like, God, I need to do something with that. I'll use that for petty cash. If I need to buy toilet rolls for the clinics or something, there's the petty cash. Yeah, it's not easy. More recently, probably in the last 6 months, we've been working with you in bringing in Go High Level. Now, for those that are maybe watching this that don't know what Go High Level is, why don't you tell us what your thoughts are, or why you wanted to get involved in Go High Level? And I know you've got kind of a few different reasons for this. So you tell me, why Go High Level?
High Level is, to me, like a different world. I'm not even touching the surface of what can be done on Go High Level. I just wanted everything to be in one place. Like I had built quite a good email list. So I send out quite regular emails. So, but that was on like one system. And then like, if we wanted to do like text marketing, that's different. Like, I just wanted everything in one place. And the Go High Level, it's all there. It's all one website, one tab open in my many tabs.
How many tabs do you regularly have open in your laptop?
You don't want to know. I use it to like remember stuff. Don't even just use it. Just like, I just type that every tab. Yeah. So there's loads you can do on it. So that's why I wanted it all just to be in one bit. But we've now started doing like calls through it. WhatsApp, that's also on Go High Level. So I like that's also there.
So when you came to me for it, I mean, I obviously have helped you set all that up, and
I would never have been able to.
Yeah, you would. You have to spend a lot of time learning it, and I've now been using Go High Level for about 4 years as this goes out, so 2026. So quite an early adopter of Go High Level, but it is a beast, and it's not really a system that's designed for a business to just pick up and use. It's designed for agencies to then package up for businesses to help them use it. So having somebody like me helping you put it together, and if anything happens, I'll not swear on this, but if something hits the fan, you just pop me a WhatsApp, don't you, and just say, "Esther,
I need to
help,
look at it again.
yeah, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Hold on, I'll jump on." But what I mean, you are just scraping the surface, but what you are doing is you're improving your communication. What Joe's talking about there, she's got everything in the one place. All of Joe's social media accounts, inbox in there, Google kind of inbox, her Facebook, Instagram, all her bits are all in this conversations tab. So she's got that inbox. And then she wanted to have business WhatsApp, not just another phone where she's having to get back to WhatsApps. So she wanted a proper business WhatsApp that not only was able to send messages and do marketing, but also to have some automation and AI behind that, which we've now started to implement with you, which is great fun, isn't it? What have you called your agent again? What did we call your agent?
Oh, Bella.
Bella, that's right. So Bella, we helped Joe implement, and we've got the kind of widget in your WhatsApp and in your Facebook and all of that. So Bella can respond to these things based on the brain, based on what you teach Bella. And you also are letting Bella answer your phone. So talk to me a wee bit about that, because that's a whole different level when we start letting AI answer your phone.
It's great. I love when we're in the salon, we don't have a receptionist, so we don't answer the phone. It goes to a voicemail, which was a good voicemail. It just lets them know we're busy and send us a text. We'll reply to you faster.
Emails
online, and just do it yourself. But we do still get a lot of clients that want that someone else to book them in. Enough. As long as it's not the majority, enough.
So what does Bella do for you then that a voicemail doesn't?
So Bella can answer questions. So if somebody phones with a specific question, like where are we located, or where can they park, or if we take cash or card, or things like that, she can answer that. She can also tell them, if they ask to book an appointment, she can tell them, well, I can't do that for you, but I can get one of the team to phone you back, or I can send you a text message with the link to book.
And then she sends them a text right there and then, doesn't she? I think another nice thing that happens with that as well, obviously with their permission, is Bella collects their credentials for you, doesn't she? And that goes into your CRM system. So your customer relationship management system. So you're building that list. You've got those details.
Yeah.
So and that saves a multitude of time, doesn't it? Where you're not having to make sure I've put that client onto that MailChimp or whatever system you were using. It's automatically happening. And you can have it that she's tagging them in the background as well, so that you might not know that that's happening, but that is happening.
I did actually know that. Yeah.
That's happening. And that means you can segment your list a wee bit more and send appropriate messages. So whether that's WhatsApp marketing, or whether that's email marketing, mass marketing, or just general communication with your clients. Okay, well you're miles ahead here, Joe, because having even just having things like a business WhatsApp, even having your inbox inside Go High Level, even the fact that you even know what Go High Level is, you're already miles ahead of you're in the 1%, 100%. But the fact that you're then starting to utilize some of these things, and I think that's the key when you're starting to work with systems and AI, is to do it slowly.
Yeah.
And I think I'd said that to you, do it one thing at a time. Get that mastered. Let's get that working perfect. You understand it, and then move on to the next bit. And we slowly implement it. Otherwise, it'll be a disaster, and you'll just be overwhelmed, and you'll just pull the plug, and you'll be like, no, just get it off. I can't. It's actually causing me more stress.
Yes.
Because it can if you try and do too much too quickly, and you're learning as you go, because you've got to embrace that change in your business. You've got to let go of that control. If I had to say to you 6 years ago, Joe, you're going to have a AI robot answering your phone with potential access to your diary, advising your clients about your business and your treatments. Are you okay with that? What would you have said to me?
Absolutely not.
No chance. But it's, if you think about that journey that you've went on, I want to kind of maybe spend a wee bit of time talking a wee bit about who is Joe, right? And how Joe, who is Joe, but who's the person behind She Is Beauty, right? And how, why are you in that 1%? that's embracing that? What makes you you? And why is it you just embrace that change? You might not think you do, but you clearly do.
Well, because I'm
So tell us, what's that?
because I'm just too stubborn. I just need to make things work.
You're like, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. You know, you have resilience and determination.
I like those terms better.
Those are positive terms. So you've been in this business 9 years, but you don't just run She Is Beauty. Talk to us a little bit about your other business, your events business.
So I have got an events business called Glasgow Witchy Bazaar. It is for people who like the weird, the wonderful, and the woo-woo.
Which is like, so witchy bazaar, like as in broomstick.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really going to be able to buy a broomstick there. Maybe a miniature one.
Disappointing.
People who are into spiritual worlds, crystals, people with candles, jewellery, herbs, teas, stuff like that. There's also, I've got a lot of readers that come as well that offer like tarot readings, oracle readings, stuff like that. So yeah, it's really for people who are interested in things that are a wee bit woo-woo.
And what do you do? So
Yeah.
you organise it?
I even explained what it is. So yeah,
No.
organise it is pop-up market event basically. So we have a wide range of businesses come along, set up a table with their wares, the stuff that most of them hand make. And there's the people selling products, there's the people with services like the tarot readings, and then there's also, I put on a couple of talks. So I don't personally put them on, obviously. I get people to come and do a wee educational talk and something connected to the spiritual world. So
Amazing.
it's great. It started as a hobby about 4 years ago now, just something outside of the salon, something a wee bit different. And it is blown up. Basically, they're really popular. People love coming to them. A lot of people come to every one.
And how often do you run them?
Every 8 weeks, roughly.
And is it always at the same venue? Do you change it around?
I have used a different venue in the past. I do use different venues if I've got I've done a few kind of special events, like collaboration events, and I've used different venues for that. But it's always, my main event is in the haberdashery in Glasgow, which is a lovely space. It's owned by women as well, which I love. They're both
Absolutely
great. They're so helpful, so lovely, and it's such a nice space.
So you basically facilitate this for these businesses, small businesses that are in wellness, healing, holistic, alternative therapies, crystal healing, Reiki, I would imagine, all of that sort of realm. And so obviously you've got an interest in that. That was something you must have been interested in. And you saw there was maybe a gap, that there wasn't anything like that in Glasgow.
Yeah, it was my daughter. She just started getting into it as well. I've always been a wee bit weird, wee bit woo-woo, but my daughter started getting into it as well. And I wanted to do something. I wanted us to go somewhere together. And out with your very few crystal shops, there was nothing. There was no communities, nothing that you could really go to. Yeah, it was either you commit to a full life of it, or there was nothing. So I was like, well, I'll just start something.
Amazing. So you did it. So how do you let people know that this event's happening then? So what systems are you using? What kind of database have you got? What's happening under the hood of that? Because that doesn't just happen, Jo.
With this, it started more on Instagram. Which was a bit of a, I had social media for the salon, but our clients don't come to us through social media. I've got ads running on Google and stuff, and that's where all our clients, and word of mouth is a big one for us. But Instagram was quite new to me. I wasn't really, we would post stuff on it for the salon, but it wasn't doing it really. So I just started on Instagram and I started reaching out to people who I kind of got the vibe would like what I was doing, and found some small businesses who sold that kind of stuff that would be popular. And that was basically how it started.
That was it.
That was it, yeah.
And then
now I've got a big email database for people who have attended in the past, vendors that have attended in the past, people who want to attend, and I've got them all segmented, obviously.
Yes, good girl. But that is quite an unusual, I mean, even just doing that, because it is a whole separate business, Jo. So running two businesses, yeah. How much time does that actually take?
Well, on the day, I'm just there. Like, if anything goes wrong, I'm just there, and I tend to spend more money than I make. Well, that's a little bit of a
You enjoy the event?
I do, yeah. The prep for it isn't actually that much. I need to go through applications. We get an overwhelming amount of people applying for a space.
Wow.
I said we, but I need to go through all the applications, pick who I want. I like it to be different every time. So I don't want it to be the same vendors at every event because people won't come back if it's the exact same thing. You need to pay to get in. So they're not going to pay to come in to see the same thing they've seen 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I go through, pick them all, let them all know that they've got a place, and then they all go in my spreadsheet. And that's how I track it.
My brain's doing overtime how you can automate a lot of that. But anyway,
that is next on my list to do because none of that business is automated.
No, so I'm like, okay, yeah, that's that excites me though. Yeah, okay, so yeah, easily
It's even
automate.
better because I've now built this community from doing these events for 4 years. I've now built a website for them all to shop online.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. So what's the future of Witchy Bazaar, do you think then?
I'll still keep doing in-person events. I think that's really popular. It's really
Yeah.
important. It is popular, but really important because people do feel a bit
Isolated.
especially if they do like things that are a wee bit different and it's not as common. It's good to have just
Community's good.
Yeah. So definitely always do in-person events, but yeah, I'm spending a wee bit of time just now working on the website, making sure that's running as smoothly as possible so that all the vendors that I have at the in-person events can set up a profile on the website. People come to the website. I obviously do all the SEO and stuff for that. People come to the website and buy from these vendors. They'll get a notification to send it out to them.
Amazing. Well done you.
Good for wee businesses who maybe don't have the capacity to have a website themselves.
Yeah, or the mental capacity to build that, or sometimes even the funds to actually build a website. I know it's fairly cheap these days to build a fairly decent website you can use. There's so many systems you could build it on Go High Level. It'd be completely free if you've already got a Go High Level account. You've got things like Squarespace. You've got all your just drag and drop stuff. You can use Claude Code, pretty much code a website. All you need to be able to do is speak and describe what you want. Really, it's not that difficult, but in a little bit of domain registration and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
You're good to go. No, brilliant. Okay. Right, I want to swing back a wee bit to I want to talk about how things like systems has helped. If you had to think about all of the things that you've got in your business now, thinking back to, say, 2019 to 2026, what's the one feature or workflow that you have now that's genuinely saved you the most amount of time?
I would genuinely say, as much as I love Go High Level, I would say Over2 has been the best thing that I have done. Because what I can do on that is, like, I can set it so the certain treatments the clients that book a certain treatment will automatically get an email saying this is what you need to do for this treatment. This is the prep you need to do for this treatment. They'll come in treatment. I can rebook them straight away just by clicking like 4 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. When they leave, they'll get an aftercare. If it's specific, they'll get an aftercare sent straight away. And then they'll get the request for a review sent straight away. Well, that comes
so it's doing
a day or two later. And then if they haven't rebooked, they will get a reminder, like, you're probably due, like if it's for a wax appointment or something like that. They're like, you're about time due for a wax and you don't have one booked. So, by the way.
So it's doing a lot of your reactivation and so Go High Level can do all that through your workflows, but it's just not connected to your booking system.
Yeah, I would love to get my booking system connected to Go High Level, but it just does not seem to be. I've spoken to people involved.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I mean, watch this space. You will be able to if you've got access to the API of.
I've looked down at that path. It doesn't seem to, which is strange because they do connect. Like, I use a Treatwell system as well. And it does seem to connect to that, but no, it doesn't seem to.
Well, most of these things so it won't be like a native connection in Go High Level, right? I won't see how you'll get into integrations or you won't see it in something like that. It'll be something that will need to natively be built. So what you have to do with those things is, so I have to do that with a lot of clinical clients on clinical, because that's not a native integration area. So most of the clients I work with in the kind of health side, it doesn't just click it. You've got to have webhooks calling, you've got to use a cron, so it's listening for changes, like, for example, reactivation, for example, sending in the review request, for example, sending out you've not been in 3 months, all of that stuff all automated, and you can and build that into a workflow. The workflow is the easiest bit. It's getting the systems to do two-way syncing. Now, if you have access to the API, you're able to do it, but not easily. It does require, it might be that something needs to be made on make.com or a Zapier integration to make that communicate that, to talk to that. So it's almost like you need to connect them. There won't be a native connection, right?
Yeah.
It's like you've got to, but if you have access to the API, then you will be able to do it. Okay, so it will be able to be done, but it just needs a bit of looking under the bonnet and making those connections, but it will be able to be done. And then you just have triggers that triggers different workflows. So
Yeah.
for example, somebody's been in for a leg wax and you're sending that aftercare. Your system's already doing a lot of that stuff. So you would leave bits of that on, but there's probably parts that is maybe not doing. So for example, one of the things that I love doing for clinics is using WhatsApp. So when somebody books an appointment inside WhatsApp, can create templates. So if somebody books, for example, a nail surgery, they're booked in for nail surgery for us, we can send them a little video of what's going to happen during your surgery, what to bring, what to wear, can you drive? And there's a little video of that as well. It's just a bit more personal.
Yeah.
And then aftercare, a little video of here's how to change your toe dressing. And we've got a video of that inside WhatsApp. And that's all automated because we've got it synced up to go high level, that it just triggers a workflow that when the next day after that appointment, it triggers that workflow to go off. But it isn't a native thing. It's something that's had to be built, or we've had to use a different system to connect that up. Does that make sense? So you will be able to, and you can also use things like webhooks, which are a bit different to APIs. So there's always a way to make things work and talk to each other. Great, yes. But if they give you API access,
I can get that.
so that's you're able to do it. So right now you're using things like you're scratching the surface of what high level can do, but I just keep nudging you along. Okay.
Okay.
Use that part, And then the next stage, now, it might not be something you want to give the AI access to. So in my clinics, I have lots of bots. I have a lot of AI doing a lot of things. And one of the main things that we've got is we've got Charlie, which is kind of like your Bella.
Yeah.
And Charlie is our voice AI receptionist for our podiatry practices around Glasgow, and set Charlie up in lots of clinics all over the UK. And although they've called it something, you can call it whatever you like, you chose Bella. Now, because we're in clinical, I allow Charlie to get access to our diary. And do we hide that it's AI from clients? No, we are very open and honest and say, Charlie's a member of our team. Talk to Charlie with respect, please. And some of the conversations are hilarious.
No.
So my husband was testing the bot and he decided to ask, because we have a Pilates studios as well around Glasgow, and he decided to phone the bot up and say, so I'm going to be arriving in my helicopter. Do you have a helipad that I can land on? Just random questions. The bot did very, very well. And I think she said something like, well, that would be quite some sight. But no, unfortunately, we don't have a helipad. However, you can get the whatever bus and there's free parking out the front. And but it just had a wee bit of a sense of humour because we've trained the bot to have our values and her humour, and she's got a wee bit of daftness about her, which we like. We like a wee bit of tongue in cheek because that's Glasgow banter. And because we don't want it sounding like a robot, and we don't want it to be all very polite, but a little bit of cheek and fun. But there's a line there. And then the other question he asked, he said, when I come and do my Pilates class, do I have to wear clothes or could I do it naked? So the bot did very well. So I was reading this back in the transcript going, honestly, can you just behave yourself and just test booking an actual appointment, please, so that I can test that it's working? But that's what he was testing. What happens if I show up and I've got no clothes on? Will you allow me entry? Yeah. So don't ask a man.
I mean, you get that question, so the bot does need to know how to be like, you will not get entry.
That's a hang up.
Yeah.
No thanks. Not at all. So it can work well, but it's not perfect. Don't think that in business you should. I think honesty is always the best policy with what you're using, and be open and honest with your clients, your patients, whatever your term is, and let them know you're using it and it's there to help. Just talk to like a normal person, and most of our clients now just say, I spoke to that mad Charlie. And I was like, yeah, you got on all right. And it's great because Charlie then maybe implements and then maybe sends you an email to say, hey, I've done this or this has happened. You can integrate that into whatever systems you want. So for us, it goes to our Slack channel, which is quite good for our admin team that then pick these things up. Next question for you is, where do you see AI fitting into your salon, but also not just your salon? Where do you see AI fitting into your industry in the next couple of years?
Doing our massages for us and absolutely not.
No.
I think with in this particular industry, same with you, I suppose, as well. It's very hands-on. It's a very personal industry. I don't think it'll ever. It's not an
Change
industry
that.
that is going to take over. Like, it's not like an admin industry or
No.
anything like that. What it does do is it allows us more time to work on that personal journey, to make sure that's the best it can be, to make sure the clients that come in the door are getting our full attention and full care, because my head's not like, oh, I need to reply to this person and that person and send this email, and I'm fully in that moment. I think that is the most important thing for this kind of industry. It's making sure you're using it so that you're not exhausted.
Frees your time up.
Aye.
It frees your time up and helps you better in that customer journey and looking after that client.
Yeah.
Retention, Google reviews, all of that stuff. Just make sure it's happening automatically because you've got that system there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were talking to another salon owner who was still doing absolutely everything manually, what would you say to them?
I would be like, give yourself a shake. If I was talking to me back then, I'd be like, right, come on. But just making sure it can seem scary. It can. It's mad the stuff that AI can do. When you think about what it can help you with, like, it's just a changer. Just step in a wee bit.
What would be a pinky toe for somebody? What would you tell them the first thing to do is though? Like if they've got nothing, right? What would be a pinky toe?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Pinky toe.
Well,
be online booking. It'll
done.
Yeah, one that if we can connect it with an AI that can answer the questions that some people have. Some people don't want to just go on and book an appointment straight off. They do have some questions.
Do you have a chat widget yet on your website?
No, I don't, but I've actually connected.
So you've got that there.
I
You've
know.
got it there. It's just the code. Take the code, you put it in the header.
That'll be tomorrow.
Get it done. I'll even go into your system and get the code for you. How's that?
Yeah, that's a good try. Got to connect. I'm managed to do that, don't worry.
Well, if you need a hand, just I'll get your 11 p.m. WhatsApp message going.
The thing is, I know you're also working at 11 p.m. because that is the best time to work.
Fabulous time to work. Kids are in bed, day's over, your phone's not going. Well, mine's maybe is going because I quite like because time. Totally, I've got a lot of clients that we sit and have a wee chat at that time because they know I genuinely do like it, and it's my creative time.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, it's my time.
I'll get home from work and I'm burst. I'm done. I'm like, I don't want to do everything, and then I'll chill out a wee bit, have my dinner, spend some time with the family,
Get them to bed, and then you're like, woohoo!
I have got some ideas.
Exactly. I think in the morning as well. I don't know. Do you still do? Because both me and Joe, we are members. That's how we met. We were members of the Entrepreneurial Circle,
Yeah.
which is a mainly UK networking organisation. And as part of that, we were taught to do 90 minutes a day of working on the business rather than in the business. Now, I don't know about you, but I could never ever do a full 90 minutes.
No,
I found
put it down to
Aye, and sometimes 40. As long as it's deep focused work, I think, yeah, and you're doing it consistently. But yeah, it does work because you do get the big boulders moved, the big projects moved. But are you still doing that, Joe?
mostly do it, yeah. I kind of reworded it. I now have my 60 minutes, but I've got set days. Actually, I helped me plan this because I have definitely undiagnosed ADHD and my brain gets a little bit scattered.
Have you not tried the lovely trips?
I have, but I'm not a big fan.
I do. Just drink the CBD.
You know what I do quite like? Have you tried Nutonics?
No, you need to send me one. Get me one.
Lush. They're meant to be like an energy drink, but it's not like a taurine based energy drink. One of them when I was on that course last week, and I could focus. It was great. I'll get you
like that.
Right,
Get me one of them. I need to try that. I love a wee. See, that just keeps me steady.
Yeah. Well, and it was very tasty as well, which I like. I'm not a big fan of the taster chips. I've tried a few of them, it just does not do it.
I do like a lot of people say that, but I don't know. It doesn't matter what flavour, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I really do like them, and I'm normally, see, to be honest, see if you're going to cook for me, feed me, give me food, there's nothing I'll refuse. I'm quite easy. I'm not fussy
Yeah.
at all. If somebody's giving me anything, I'm like, I'm just grateful. Totally, I'm like, doesn't matter what it is. I'll never refuse it. I'll have that. That's just how I was brought up. Somebody's feeding you, you eat it and you say thanks.
You need to clean the plate enough.
Aye. So you say thank you. The one thing that you know now that you wish somebody had told you back then about implementing systems in AI and bookings and things into your business. What do you wish somebody had said to you?
Doesn't need to be an all or nothing situation. You can build it one wee bit at a time. It's not as scary and otherworldly as it seems.
My God, I love that. What a perfect ending. That is it. It's not as difficult as it seems. It's not as scary as it seems. It's actually, I don't know about you, it's actually really good fun.
Well, I'm not quite there yet.
I'll get you there.
I can see it being, I do like challenge, but I think that's what bugs me about it, is because I don't know enough about building them to enjoy it, because I'm at that stage where I'm like, it's annoying me because I need to know how to do that.
Yeah. But you just slowly catch your monkey. The system you've got is an absolute Ferrari. It's like the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
More than what you could ever need. And the tempting thing to do when you are driving a Ferrari is to go from zero to hero and try and no crash. And you're no used to that power. So we go slow, we go steady, and we look at the things we can implement very easily, very quickly, in the least amount of time that will give you the biggest bang for your buck. So communication, WhatsApp, SMS, email messaging, and it also then takes that system and brings it into one system, saves you a bit of money in all of these other systems and time. And then you then go, right, okay, I'm used to going in to go high level now. I'm used to doing these things. So now I'm going to start sniffing about some of the other bits of it, and then start to know where everything is. And you'll never know everything. There's parts of Go High Level that I just would never touch because it's not been something that I've ventured into. So like the communities area of Go High Level, never been in it. So you can build like a whole community, almost like a school kind of type training thing in there. There's so many things that you can do with it, but just because you have it doesn't mean you say you need to use it. You just use what's the problem you're trying to solve, and don't get distracted by all the shiny objects around you, and then you end up getting nothing done and demented and pulling your hair out. And that's what most people do with AI. It's like, there's too much. So final parting words would be, it's not as scary as it seems. And I would say it's actually really good fun. That would be my addition to that. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast today, Jo. And maybe we'll get to see you back, maybe do something about Witchy Bazaar on the next one and see where we go with that with some of the systems. You will be. I think we need to we could even do a live. I think actually let us know in the comments when this goes out, people. We could maybe do a live looking at Jo's current systems of her Witchy Bazaar events business. And actually, well, there's a spreadsheet, I would imagine, isn't there? Is there an Excel spreadsheet?
There's a spreadsheet with 2 colours.
There we are, right. So there's a spreadsheet and there must be like some sort of website, I would imagine. There must be some sort of email marketing list.
Marketing.
So we can look at all of those systems and we can see how can we look at that and actually utilize AI to help us see what tools Jo could use to actually systemize that better to save her even more time. Down, Jo, get all your systems looked at. All right, until next time, see you later.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on this episode of MedTech Decoded. Jo, thank you so much for being one of our first guests here on MedTech, for being so open and honest about where you started, and for just being the brilliant, no-nonsense, slightly witchy Glaswegian that you are. The thing that stuck out with me the most from today's conversation was Jo's parting words. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. You can build in one wee bit at a time, and that's not as scary as it seems. And for those that are not Glaswegian, wee just means little. It means small. That is it. That is the whole game, because as Zig Ziglar said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So here are the 3 things I'm going to take from today. First one, The tech is not the barrier. The mindset is. Jo sat on a paper diary for years, not because online booking was hard, but because change felt scary. But once she jumped, she never looked back. 2, automation doesn't make your business impersonal. It actually gives you more of yourself to give to the people in front of you. Jo said it perfectly. When the admin is handled, you're fully in the room. And 3, start with one thing. Get it working, then move to the next. Don't let the shiny objects distract you. Slowly catch a monkey, and before you know it, you're running a Ferrari. In this episode, if you thought this episode was useful, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you've got 30 seconds, please leave us a review. It would mean the absolute world to us. It helps us get more people find the show. I'm Sarah Jane Walls, and I'll see you next week.